November 12th, 1996. A night that started like any other, but that could never be forgotten. You find yourself on a deserted road, crossing the silence of a desert that seems to swallow even the air itself. The vehicle's engine hums low, but all around, there is no sign of life. No cricket, no distant coyote, no breath of wind. The whole world seems to have stopped to witness what was about to happen. The sky above does not display normal stars. There is something different, a hidden presence. A light appears on the horizon, first as a timid dot, then as a flash that doesn't behave like a plane, helicopter, or satellite. It moves in an impossible manner, sometimes disappearing, sometimes reappearing at another point, as if the laws of physics had been suspended. Your body begins to react even before your mind comprehends. A metallic shiver runs down your spine, as if invisible wires were being connected inside you. Your hands tremble on the steering wheel. The air becomes heavy, and the sensation is that time has lost consistency. Seconds stretch out, drag on, and every heartbeat echoes like a drum inside your chest. You try to accelerate, but the road seems endless. The light approaches, now so intense that the asphalt reflects a silvery glow. It is at this moment that the silence transforms into something even more frightening, a low, vibrating hum that does not come from the engine, but from the very air around you. A sound that seems to penetrate the bones, rearranging your molecules, messing with what should be untouched. The body begins to fail. First, the fingers, then, the legs. You feel an icy paralysis, a metallic coldness that is not from the night, but from what emanates from the light. You try to look at the clock, but the hand no longer makes sense. Time is broken. Minutes feel like hours, and hours feel like a second. Your mind despairs. You try to scream, but no sound comes out. The desert does not answer. The engine inexplicably cuts out, and all that remains is the glow of the light hovering before you, silent, as if observing, as if deciding. Then, the darkness within you begins to speak louder than reality itself. It is as if there is another presence, invisible, yet overwhelming, inside your head. You try to think of running, but your thoughts no longer obey you. A strange force takes over every impulse, and it is at this instant that the most disturbing truth is revealed. When you tried to scream, you realized you couldn't move even your own thoughts, as if another mind had taken control. The flash didn't just illuminate the desert, it molded it. Shadows distorted, stones seemed to melt into metallic tones, and the silence turned into an absolute void. You feel your body being pulled upward, although there are no ropes, no hands, nor anything visible. It was as if gravity had changed owners. The darkness envelops you, but it is not the darkness of the night sky. It is an absence of the world. When you open your eyes, you realize you are no longer on the road. The floor beneath you pulses like flesh, but it is not flesh. The walls around you breathe in slow movement, contracting and expanding as if the place has lungs. The light does not come from lamps, but from translucent filaments that run through the living walls, radiating a cold, bluish glow that never blinks, never fails. The air is dense, impregnated with a constant sound, a deep hum that vibrates directly in your bones. It is not a sound to be heard, it is a sound to be felt. It penetrates your skin, reverberates inside your skull, and seems to want to rewrite your every cell. You try to move, but you are trapped, not by chains, but by invisible energy fields that compress your muscles. The sensation is that of being immobilized from within, as if your own body has become a prison. And then you see them, tall, slender, about 2 meters in height. Their skin, a dull grayish blue, seems to absorb the light. Their eyes, completely black, without pupil, do not blink. There is no emotion, no hurry, just an unsettling calm that weighs more than silence itself. They do not walk, they glide. Every movement is fluid, precise, almost choreographed. As they approach, a coldness runs through your body, not from the air, but from the certainty that you are facing something that should not exist. One of them raises a too long arm, its thin fingers ending in joints that move like blades. A beam of light scans your body, and a metallic voice echoes, not through the air, but inside your mind. Human, minimal threat, isolation protocols confirmed. The words are not spoken, they are imposed. You don't hear them, you receive them. The floor reconfigures, creating a platform beneath your feet. You realize you are in a containment room, the circular walls pulsing, the ceiling curved as if it were part of a giant organism. The air smells of burnt ozone, mixed with something sweet, almost sickly. The feeling of helplessness is suffocating, but, at the same time, A detail gnaws at you from within. The strange familiarity. It is as if, on some unconscious level, you already knew this place existed, as if a part of you had always been waiting for this moment. The beings continue the procedures. More light beams sweep over your body. Holographic symbols appear in the air, spinning in colors you cannot name. The deep sound increases until every beat feels like an invisible sledgehammer against your bones. And then something happens that breaks the pattern. Among all the aliens circulating, one of them stops. It doesn't just look like the others, it sees. Its black eyes fix on yours, and for an impossible instant, you feel something. Not a word, not a voice, but a recognition, as if it already knew who you are. It is just a second, but enough to make your breath catch. The strange creature does not move, does not make a sound. It merely observes you, as if it has seen something the others missed. The hum stops, the light beam goes out. The walls of the room expand like a lung after a deep dive, and then, in the absolute silence, you realize that something even bigger was about to happen. This was not just a kidnapping, it was a calling. The silence following the containment is almost unbearable. Your ears still vibrate with the ship's hum, even after the light beam has gone out. Your body is immobile, but your mind is spinning in spirals. The feeling of being watched does not cease, even when none of the aliens seem to be looking directly at you. Suddenly, the air densifies. A new beam crosses your skull, cold, metallic, deeper than any pain ever felt. It is not common pain. It is as if your memories are being torn out and reviewed. The hologram above you lights up in red. Alien symbols flash in sequence, and the metallic voice returns. Genetic anomaly detected. Resonant frequency identified. The creatures, until now impassive, become agitated. Murmurs in an indecipherable language echo, not in the air, but inside your mind. Sounds that should not exist, like electrical crackles, mixed with radio waves and the noises of metal grating. Even without understanding the words, you grasp the meaning. Surprise? They did not expect you. Their black eyes reflect unease. Some retreat, others consult holograms that open like liquid mirrors before them. The absolute calm disappears. And, for the first time, you notice something human in that reaction. Fear. It is at this moment that a different presence approaches. It is not a soldier, nor a scientist. It doesn't walk. It manifests. It appears in the center of the room as if it had always been there, but had only chosen to reveal itself now. Tall, thin, but with a distinct aura. Its eyes are not merely black. They carry reflections that move like distant galaxies. It does not speak, but your mind is invaded by a voice that is clear, intimate, impossible to ignore. Human, do you hear? You do not answer with words because you cannot, but your mind, even paralyzed, vibrates in agreement. This is not merely a capture. There is something in you that calls to us, and now we need to understand why. The being does not need facial expressions to convey intent. It is the mediator. You feel this, although you do not know how. It does not belong to the hierarchy of the guards, nor to the scientists who are examining you. It is above them. The mediator orders mentally, and you are conducted to a larger room. The walls open organically, revealing a space that seems infinite. The ceiling projects, like a sky of stars, but it is not an illusion. Holograms light up, showing constellations, roots, cosmic energy flows that dance like luminous rivers. In the center of the room, there is a biotechnological altar, a living structure that pulses in blue and silver. The mediator points to it, and symbols align in the air, as if the universe were written in codes you don't understand. But somehow, a part of you feels like you have seen this before. Your mind is taken over by a single thought that is not yours. You were not just captured, you were called. Before we continue, if this story is already gripping you, subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and comment if you believe some humans carry cosmic secrets in their own DNA. The mediator approaches. You feel its presence invading every cell, every memory. There is no way to resist. It leans down, and for the first time, its voice resonates as a definitive command. There is a reason you are here. What you carry in your blood is not common. What you inherited cannot be erased. And, whether you like it or not, we will need to go deeper. The cosmos hologram expands around you, stars spinning in patterns that resemble infinite mandalas. Roots intersect and point to a central spot that glows like an open wound in space. It is at this moment that you realize what they are looking for is not just information, it is you. And the most disturbing thing, a part of you begins to want to know too. The immense room pulses as if breathing along with you. The mediator does not avert its eyes. Black, deep, reflecting constellations that seem to move in silence. It is impossible to hold the gaze, but also impossible to look away. Your mind is invaded by waves of memory that are not yours. They arrive quickly, densely, as if someone opened a floodgate inside your consciousness. The mediator speaks without moving its lips. Your story did not begin today, human. It began in 1947. Holographic images light up in the air. A small town, deserts, a metallic crash illuminating the night, confused radio signal, men running, a silvery object, half buried in the sand. And, at the center of it all, human figures, soldiers, scientists, mixed with beings of grayish-blue skin, like those who now surround you. The mediator continues. In that year, when contact was inevitable, we needed a link. We needed to test the genetic resonance in a species that did not yet understand its cosmic role. A human was chosen. A human became the first bearer of the frequency you now carry. The image focuses on a young man, determined but confused eyes. A soldier captured near the accident site, and as you watch him, a shock runs down your spine. The face is familiar, so familiar that your heart pounds as if trying to flee your chest. The mediator concludes, without pause, without pity, that human was your grandfather. The floor seems to disappear. Your body trembles, but not because of the energy containment. It is the weight of the revelation. You try to remember, try to deny, but forgotten memories emerge like ghosts from childhood. Flashbacks invade your mind. Your grandfather sitting at the edge of the bed, repeating stories that always seemed like raving, words about stars, about sounds only he heard, marks on his arm, which no one ever explained, the habit of waking up in the middle of the night, sweating, muttering phrases in languages that did not exist. At the time, it all seemed like madness. Now, every detail fits. The mediator intensifies the mental connection. The walls of the room light up, transforming into a mosaic of memories that are not just yours. You see your grandfather in a room very similar to this one, surrounded by the same figures, subjected to the same scanning. You hear muffled screams. You feel the same metallic coldness running across your skin. Your grandfather was not a prisoner. He was an experiment, a genetic link, and from his lineage, you were born, the bearer of the code that should not exist. You try to understand. Your mind insists on rejecting the idea that destiny was manipulated decades before your birth. But at the same time, something pulses inside you, an internal vibration that responds to the mediator's words, like a drum that finally recognizes its original rhythm. The revelation is not just historical, it is personal, it is intimate, and you understand. The blood that runs in your veins is not just human. It carries memories. It carries a pact. The mediator approaches, its overwhelming presence inches from your face. They tried to erase the truth. They tried to bury the lineage, but they failed. In you, the code has awakened again. You feel it, don't you? And for the first time, you admit to yourself, yes, something was always wrong. Or perhaps something extraordinary. Recurrent dreams that made no sense. Echoes of voices no one else heard. The inexplicable fear of certain silent nights. Everything was connected. Your chest tightens, not just from fear, but from inevitability. The feeling that you never had a choice. You have always walked toward this moment, even without knowing it. The mediator then raises its hand. Holograms project into the air, revealing genetic symbols, sequences that do not seem human. Within them, a luminous frequency pulses in sync with your heart. You recognize it without ever having seen it before. The dormant code was inherited. You are the descendant of a forbidden experiment, a living echo of 1947, and we need you for what was started and never finished. The truth collapses upon you like an entire falling building. The grandfather, who seemed merely a disturbed old man, always knew. The stories were never delusions. They were confessions, warnings. You breathe deeply, but the air does not fill your lungs. It is as if, with every revelation, the desert of November 12th has returned inside you. And deep down, a bitter certainty blossoms. There is no escape. You are the consequence of a secret that humans should never carry. The larger room opens before you, like a living organism. The corridors retract, revealing a spacious, circular area that pulses with an almost sacred energy. In the center, suspended above an organic base, is a crystal sphere that seems to contain not just light, but entire universes in constant motion. It vibrates with a low, deep tone that makes your heart accelerate in the same rhythm. It is not just an object, it is a presence. The aliens guide you to the center. The mediator remains nearby, its black eyes fixed on you, as if awaiting the inevitable. The sphere pulses at rhythmic intervals, each flash casting shadows that dance on the ship's walls. There is something hypnotic about that light. It is not just an object, it is a presence. You feel the pressure building up inside your skull, as if you are being forced to speak. But speak what? The voices that are not yours echo inside your mind, fragments of sounds, scrambled memories, disconnected phrases. Cold sweat runs down your skin, and your knees buckle. But the energy emanating from the sphere does not allow you to fall. It keeps you upright, prisoner and chosen at the same time. The mediator leans slightly and transmits the mental command. Speak, say the word, activate what is within you. You try to answer, but your throat closes up. There is no word, no clear memory, only the panic of being before something greater than comprehension itself. And then, like a flash, the memory of your grandfather invades your mind. The nights he repeated an enigmatic phrase, whispering as if it were a secret just for you. The stars are steps for those who listen. At the time, it seemed like meaningless poetry. But now, in the heart of the ship, the phrase pulses in your mind like an ancient password that has finally found its lock. You utter it, your voice choked, almost like a lament. The stars are steps for those who listen. The effect is immediate. The sphere explodes in light, radiating flashes that cross the entire room. The living walls contract in waves, and the low hum turns into a deafening metallic roar. Holographic symbols spin out of control, racing across the walls like swarms of luminous insects. Alarms sound, but they are not human alarms. They are sharp pulses that tear the air, vibrating like invisible razor blades. Guards become agitated, gliding toward you, but they retreat when they realize that the ship itself repels them. The mediator observes in silence, while the other aliens panic. The sphere expands, its reflections traversing every corner of the room, and you realize something impossible. The light beams obey the rhythm of your breathing. Every inhale, every heartbeat, molds the space around you. You are not consciously controlling it, but the ship responds. The mediator then proclaims, the voice reverberating in your mind, and on the ship's walls. He has activated the ancestral protocol. The ship has recognized him. Mole, a coldness runs down your spine, not of fear, but of realization. You feel that something inside you has been unlocked, as if the inherited code, dormant for decades, awakened the moment the phrase was uttered. The sphere dims, but continues pulsing in perfect synchronization with your body. It is as if you are one. The guards try to approach again, but are repelled by waves of energy expanding from your skin. They are not your movements, but the ship's. It protects, it recognizes, it responds. You notice the look of hatred in some of the beings, but you also notice the look of reverence in others. The entire environment is divided between fear and devotion. The mediator takes a step forward, raising its long, thin arm toward you. Its voice invades your mind with renewed force. The code can no longer be erased. The awakening has begun. Now, you must choose, resist or accept what was always destined to happen. Your heart pounds, your breath catches. But deep down, a silent certainty grows. There is no turning back. What has begun cannot be stopped. You don't know what it means to be recognized by the ship, but you know, instinctively, that this changes everything. For them, for you, for the very planet you belong to. And amidst the chaos of the room, a single truth imposes itself like an eternal echo. The ship did not capture you. The ship was waiting for you. The room vibrates as if on the verge of an explosion. The sphere's flash still echoes on the living walls, and the air is so dense that every breath feels like drawing through hot iron. The mediator remains still, but the other aliens do not. The environment, previously orchestrated in silence, is now consumed by conflicting telepathic voices, cutting through your mind like invisible knives. You hear fragments, not in your language, but in mental waves that your brain translates into raw emotions: fear, hostility, rejection, reverence. Two groups form before you. On one side, those who advance, their black eyes flashing with contained fury. They see in you a threat, a genetic flaw that should never have awakened. The energy around them pulses in red, aggressive, vibrating like a destruction alert. On the other, a smaller group steps back, but not out of cowardice. Their gestures are restrained. Their eyes reflect something different: curiosity, even respect. Among them, a shorter being, with more delicate features, steps forward and raises its hand, as if asking for silence. Your mind is invaded by a voice different from the mediator. Do not touch him. You do not understand. He is not a mistake. He is the key. It is the dissident scientist. You don't know its name, but you feel the difference. Its energy is less rigid, less authoritarian. It does not look at you as a threat, but as a discovery. The mediator does not intervene. It merely watches, as if awaiting the outcome of the conflict. The hostile group insists. One of them advances, its bluish skin reflecting red lights, and transmits with brutality. Eliminate him before it's too late. He is instability. He is contamination. The scientist counters, with unusual firmness for someone in its position. You have been hiding the truth for generations. You know what happened in 1947. This human is the living consequence of a pact that should never have been forgotten. The word echoes like thunder in your mind. Pact. The entire room seems to tremble before this revelation. The hostile group recoils for an instant, as if the memory were forbidden even among them. But the scientist does not fall silent. It approaches closer, its hand raised, and the sphere's holograms project images you recognize. Again, the desert, your grandfather, the experiment. But this time, there is more. A negotiation table is seen. Alien beings and human military officers exchanging glances, signals, silent decisions. An agreement sealed not only with science, but with silence. Your grandfather was part of an agreement, not as a volunteer, but as a price. They knew someone would inherit the code. They feared this day, and now it has arrived. The fury of the hostile group intensifies. Their voices invade your mind like iron storms. Lies. He corrupted the lineage. He cannot live. The scientist raises its hand again, and holographic symbols appear in the air, spinning around you. Your mind recognizes fragments, genetic sequences, energy pulses, crystallized memories. It is not corruption. It is continuity. He is the echo of the pact, the link you swore to destroy, but which the cosmos decided to protect. At this moment, you feel the ship responding to your body again. The sphere pulses blue, pushing the hostiles away. They try to resist, but the ship's own living structure prevents them from approaching. It is as if it is choosing which side to take. The mediator, until then silent, finally speaks. The superior orders have already been issued. He will be transported to the central world. There, the judgment will be made. But something has changed. You are no longer just a prisoner. The sphere continues pulsing in sync with your body, as if ready to obey any unconscious thought. You don't understand how to control it, but you feel the power there, latent, waiting to be used. The hostiles rage. One of them tries to invoke a red energy to break the sphere's field, but the ship reacts. A blue wave explodes, throwing it against the living wall, which envelops it as if swallowing its very flesh. The silence that follows is terrifying. You notice the others gaze. They no longer look only at the human lost in their hands. They look at the ship's conductor, and for the first time, you understand. You are not alone in the desert of November 12th. You never were. The dissident scientist approaches once more, and its voice is calm, yet urgent. You need to learn fast. They will take you, but now you have something even they cannot fully control. The pact was not just about your grandfather. It was about the legacy, and that legacy is awakened in. The hostiles retreat reluctantly. The mediator raises its hand, ending the conflict with a mental command that echoes throughout the room. Enough. His destiny will not be decided here. Take him to the central chamber. You are pulled again by the invisible energy, but this time, something has changed in your mind. The fear still exists, but it is no longer absolute. Deep down, a silent flame burns. You are not just the prisoner. You are the error that became the key. You are the secret they failed to destroy. And the ship seems to know this better than all of them. You are led through the living corridors of the ship as if sliding inside a colossal being. The walls breathe in sync, and every step echoes like a distant drum. The air is heavier, imbued with an almost unbearable magnetism, as if every molecule is being dragged to a single point. At the end of the corridor, an organic door opens with a damp sound, revealing the central chamber. The environment is immense, circular, with columns that resemble arteries pulsing in blue. In the center, suspended in the void, a colossal biotechnological nucleus pulses like a living heart. Its glow is not just light, it is memory. Each pulse projects fragmented holograms, human faces, rotating stars, unknown symbols. You are pushed onto the platform before the nucleus. The mediator follows, silent, while the guards keep their distance, tense, as if fearing the nucleus's proximity. The dissident scientist watches from afar, its eyes reflecting anxiety and hope. When you touch the platform before the nucleus, the entire room lights up. The walls tremble, and a vibration passes through your body, stronger than any other felt before. You close your eyes, and then reality shatters. Holograms of memories open up before you. The desert of 1947. Your grandfather, young, surrounded by the same beings. The pact being sealed, not as a contract, but as a silent exchange. His body being marked, his DNA altered, the frequency imprinted in his lineage. And then, a voice. It is not the mediator, it is not the guards, it is not even the spheres. It is a voice you have known since childhood, a voice that echoed in bedtime stories. The legacy is not over. You must choose to be silent or to awaken the truth. It is your grandfather's voice, but not just memory. It is the ship itself speaking to you, using his tone to break through your emotional barriers. Your hands tremble, and hot tears sting your eyes. Your entire body vibrates in resonance with the nucleus. You understand that this is not just a revelation, it is a calling. The mediator approaches, its voice cutting through the trance. You are now before the cosmic calling. If you accept, you will no longer be merely human. If you refuse, you will live as a shadow of what could have been. Your mind collapses. You think of the ordinary life you had, the silent roads, the anonymity that seemed safe. And now, here, before the living nucleus, you realize that none of that will exist again. The guards murmur among themselves, fearing the outcome. Some want to eliminate you before the choice is made. Others hesitate, paralyzed by the ship itself that pulses in sync with your heart. The dissident scientist takes a step forward, taking a risk. Choose the awakening. They can no longer hide. You are called to unlock what was sealed. You close your eyes and take a deep breath. The internal silence is overwhelming, and deep in your mind, a phrase returns as a password and as a sentence. The stars are steps for those who listen. When you utter it, not aloud, but in thought, the nucleus vibrates in an explosion of light. The entire ship responds, as if every atom had been waiting for this moment for decades. The guards are thrown back. The scientist kneels in reverence, and even the mediator bows its head. The vibration crosses the invisible galaxy before you. Space opens up into infinite holograms, showing routes, distant worlds, portals that flash like cosmic wounds waiting to be crossed. And then the ship proclaims, in unison with your grandfather's voice, the chosen one has been recognized. You feel your skin burning, as if every cell is being reprogrammed. The energy runs down your spine, spreading through your arms and exploding into luminous marks that glow like constellations tattooed on your flesh. The guards retreat in panic. Some kneel, others disappear into the living walls, swallowed by the ship's own structure. The scientist watches with tears in its black eyes, as if witnessing the prophecy that waited for ages. But, at the height of the trance, a phrase cuts the air like a blade. Humanity is not ready for this yet. The weight of those words hits you more than any light, any vibration. The choice has been made, the awakening accepted, but the price will not be yours alone. The future of the entire planet now bears the mark of your blood. The mediator raises its eyes, and for the first time, you see emotion in them. Not just authority, but reverence mixed with dread. The awakening cannot be contained, but prepare yourself. The heavens will not keep silent for long. The ship pulses in a final light, enveloping you in living energy. When you open your eyes, you realize that something inside you has changed forever. There is no turning back. You are no longer merely human. You are the heir of the pack. You are the awakened key. You are the cosmic calling answered. The ship's light envelops you like a bottomless ocean. The vibration that took hold of your bones intensifies until it transforms into absolute silence, as if the universe has held its breath. You feel your body dissolving, not in pain, but in transition. And, when you open your eyes, the desert is gone. You are back in your bed, the familiar ceiling, the dim light of the room, the bedside clock marking hours that make no sense. Your heart still beats out of sync, as if trying to follow a rhythm that does not belong to this world. For an instant, you convince yourself that it was all just a nightmare, a delusion fueled by fatigue, by the old stories of your grandfather that always seemed like raving. But the sensation does not disappear. Your skin burns, your breathing is heavier. The room, even silent, vibrates with an energy that was not there before. You raise your arm, and you see, engraved on your skin, a luminous mark pulses in patterns that resemble constellations. It is not a tattoo, not a burn. It is something alive, that glows at intervals as if responding to your own heart. Despair gives way to shock. You touch the mark, and the sensation is the same as the crystalline sphere, metallic cold and organic heat at the same time, a seal, a signature that cannot be erased. And then you notice another detail. In the pocket of the pants tossed beside the bed, there is something heavy. When you retrieve it, your fingers find a small but indescribable metallic object. It is not jewelry, not human technology. It is as if it is a fragment of the ship itself, smooth, cold, with symbols that move beneath the surface like living liquid. You hold it, and immediately an electric current runs through your arm, connecting to the luminous mark, the irrefutable proof that none of it was a dream. Your mind is divided between two truths. You came back, but you will never be the same. Your grandfather was right. The secrets were not delusions. The whispers on childhood nights were warnings. And now, you are the bearer of a legacy that surpasses human borders. You know you will be watched, that you will be hunted, that invisible eyes are already observing you at this very moment. But you also know that you are no longer alone. Every heartbeat responds to something greater, as if the stars, outside, await your next step. In the cold pre-dawn, you look out the window. The sky still looks the same, but you understand. It is not, it never was. The clock marks the end of November 12th. But inside you, the date will never end. The true encounter has only just begun. If this story moved you, leave your comment, share this video, and subscribe to follow the next reports of extraterrestrial encounters that have not yet been revealed to the world.